This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Bozy Ennis in New York. Bozy, we're here for your man Andy Cruz.
Yes,
We've just heard that it's going to be for the final eliminator
Yes.
for the world title. What does this mean to you and Andy Cruz in the journey? Because this is quite quick for someone to be fighting this soon for a world title eliminator.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, man. To have him in that position at this time, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight, man. You know what I mean? But we gonna be victorious.
Bozy, there's been a lot of talk about Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis, and I interviewed Andy. He spoke about everything that happened last week with Keyshawn from a trainer's perspective and more importantly from a father's perspective, how you treat Boots.
Right.
How do you look at Keyshawn and everything that happened last weekend? Do you think he needs an arm around the shoulder and maybe someone in his ear that has a bit of experience in the sport to guide him the right way?
Well, I think Bomac and Crawford does a great thing with Keyshawn, but I don't know who else is in his ear. You know, it might be somebody else in his ear. But I think that situation that happened shouldn't never happen. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it was because he didn't make the weight or didn't try to make the weight, and he felt some kind of way because that was D'Alessandro didn't want to fight him, just got paid. So all that probably was building up in his head, and then his brother lose the fight. So all that played some kind of a role with that.
Do you look at Andy now and say, yes, we're very early on in his pro career, but he's ready to step in with Keyshawn Davis at a pro level next?
Well, right now, Andy's ready to step in there with any one of them. Right now.
You fancy him against all the big names at that weight?
Oh yeah, we ready to fight any one of them, any one of the big names.
Is it fair to say, Bozy, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, that we won't see the best Andy Cruz until he's in there with someone of his level?
That's what everybody say though, but we gonna keep on moving, man. You know what I mean? Whoever they put in front of us, that's who we gonna take. You know what I mean? But I agree with you on that because just like with Boots, you know what I mean? I'm just bringing it up. Somebody got to be on a real high level to bring that out of him. You saw a little bit when he fought Stanionis. Nobody never did that to Stanionis. He never quit, never got knocked down. You know what I mean? That's because he was another level up. You know.
Speaking about Boots, before I let you go, Eddie told me in an interview today that he's going to relinquish his titles at 147. The plan is to move up to 154. Eddie wants him to fight in Philadelphia in August or September, maybe against the Bohachuk. Is that a fight that you like? And is this move from 147 needed from Boots at this stage of his career?
Well, you know, him and Eddie have been talking, you know what I mean? Just like we've been talking, you know what I mean? It's up to Boots, you know what I mean? But I think Boots held that 147 for 10 years, man. So, you know, Boots is still growing. So I'll let you go on that. He's still
you see him every day in the gym, though, and as his father, and not just his father, as his mentor,
right,
as his coach, you look at his body now and say, you know what, Boots, we have to move from 147 because it's becoming dangerous. And Eddie said, like, at some point, you know, you could end up, unfortunately, getting beat by maybe a Teofimo at 147 because you struggle at the weight.
But beaten by Teofimo, no. None of them guys.
Well, Eddie's point was...
I understand what you're saying about the weight. The weight thing could be a problem at that time, you know what I mean? But
because a lot of people are saying that he turned down Teofimo, which Eddie ridiculed and said he never once turned down a fight against Teofimo.
No. Boots never turned down a fight against no one, you know what I mean? Just like I said, people be putting us up on the posters and, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. And we don't know nothing about, oh, he's fighting Ortiz. Well, we've been trying to fight Ortiz at 147, and they never took the fight. You know what I mean? So what is they talking about? We never ducked nobody. You know what I mean?
In terms of the move to 154, Eddie said, you know, he sees Boots actually moving up 160, 168 even. He said he can see that. Can you also see that?
I can see that. I can see Boots stopping at 160 or maybe 168. I can see that.
When you look at the names throughout the years, and we talk about someone like Terence Crawford who's fighting Canelo, is that a fight that Boots goes, you know what, in the next 12 months, I want to fight Terence after he fights Canelo?
No. Terence already made the statement. Terence getting them big fights like that and moving on out. He's not going to be there. Terence ain't going to be there. You know what I mean? Terence doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Make the money and get out.
You like the Bohachuk fight for Boots next? Philadelphia homecoming again?
I like Bohachuk, whoever, when it come down with Boots. But that's a good guy to fight because what you come for him and beat him. I forgot what you call him name. Was it Ortiz?
Oh yeah, Virgil Ortiz fought him. Yeah.
Well, I think Ortiz fought him and beat him. Yeah, I mean that's a good
And
fight.
eventually, then it's a crossroads between Boots and Virgil Ortiz down the line.
Yeah, but that's another good fight down the line. You know what I mean? But right now, you know what I mean. We test the waters if we move up. That's if we move up. Test the waters with a guy like him, a good fighter like him, Bogacek.
Well, Bozy, last one from me. What do you expect to see from Tank Davis when he gets back in the ring with Lamont Roach in this rematch? Do you think we're going to see an improved Tank and someone that really makes a statement against Lamont Roach this time around?
I think Tank on if Tank got his head together, right? You know, because it looked like his head was over here and over there. You know, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Well, like he wasn't focused like he normally focused. I think that it's going to be a great fight. It'll be a real great fight, and y'all can't take nothing away from Lamont because he already felt that he won, and a lot of other people felt that he won. So he gonna be on his P's and Q's this time. What I mean, he gonna be ready. So this is gonna be a great fight to see. You know what I mean?
Maybe see at one point Andy Cruz and Tank maybe coming together at some point.
Would wait.
That's what I mean. When they're both growing and they're going through the rates, maybe at one point that we do see them two together in the ring.
I think that'd be a great fight too. Yeah.
Stylistically, does it work for Andy as well?
It worked for us either way. Either way. We can box, we can fight inside too now. You know what I mean? I got him catching, slipping. He's doing everything now. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make a difference which way it come. We be right there to, you know, to take that on.
Well, Bozy, how does Andy Cruz get this job done on Saturday night?
I think Andy gonna go out there and test the waters, see where this guy coming from. Once we test the waters, I'm gonna let him know when it's time to take him. You know what I mean? We gonna go be smart, take our time, use your jab. You know what I mean? He a little taller than Andy too. Use your jab, work a lot of body shots. You know, we going to do what we're supposed to do to be victorious.
Well, Bozy Ennis, it's always a pleasure on IFLTV. Thank you so much for your time, and look forward to speaking to you again soon, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you.
Thanks.